Hey guys, so in this episode I'm going to teach you how to make mozzarella cheese. If you actually look at my blog at thinksport.com, you'll see a lot of different recipes that use mozzarella cheese. On any of the ones that I review, you'll see that I say that you need to make your own mozzarella cheese. It's not hard, it's not expensive, and it doesn't take very long, and it's worth it. It is well worth it. So do it. It's almost a lost art that just about everybody should know how to do. You can make mozzarella, you can make feta, you can make ricotta. There's several different cheeses that you can make that are really basic and simple. So to get started, I'm going to tell you a tip that will help out a lot. I know there are different places that you can find some of these ingredients. Honestly, I have no idea where to find them. You can go to just about any grocery store and get some of these ingredients, supposedly. I don't know that for a fact, but I do know that there's a place called Austin Homebrew, which is austinhomebrew.com. That's pretty much what it looks like. Now, you can buy these kits from them. They're not all that expensive, and they have everything that you need in them. The cool thing about it is one of these kits has more than enough ingredients to make multiple batches of mozzarella. For example, they give you 2 rennet tablets. It doesn't matter what a rennet tablet is right now. Just know that they give you 2 of them. You only need half of one to do what we're about to do tonight. So let me run over the ingredients. This is 1/2 of a rennet tablet. This is 2 teaspoons of citric acid. And this is 1/2 of a teaspoon of calcium chloride. Then on the stove we have a stainless steel bucket, whatever the hell you want to call it, that is big enough for at least a gallon of milk. What is it?
Stock pot.
It's a stock pot. A 1.5 gallon stock pot, give or take. Okay. So basically what we have to do now is take this rennet tablet and crush it up. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is mix the calcium chloride and the citric acid into 1/4 cup of water. They say use chlorine-free or distilled water for this. We don't have that at the moment, so we're using Brita filter water, which, you know, close enough. I'm not trying to make gourmet cheese. So you stir that. Now you take the rennet tablet here, and you mix it into the other cup of water. As far as the milk goes, you don't want to use ultra pasteurized milk. It won't work with this. You can use pasteurized milk, just not ultra pasteurized. It says in the instructions that when you're doing this, if you end up with curds that look kind of like feta cheese, like crumbly crap, change it. I'm sure you can probably use it, but change brands, get a different brand of milk next time. You can use homogenized milk. That's what the calcium chloride is for. Calcium chloride helps the curds separate from the whey. So now we have to pour the gallon of milk into the stock pot and heat it gently. So I'm pouring the whole entire gallon of whole milk into the stock pot. And every video that you watch will tell you that you can do all kinds of cool stuff with the whey. The whey protein is what weightlifters use and all that kind of stuff. You can use it for bread, you can freeze it and use it later for things, you can cook with it, you can bake with it, you can bathe with it, you can make soap out of it, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. As for us, we'll probably keep a little bit of it, throw it in the freezer, and then throw the rest out, unfortunately, or maybe pour it on plants or something. I don't know if that works, but I'm sure it does. You don't want to heat this up too quickly, but you don't want to take too long either. I forgot to mention you will need one of these. So at 55 degrees, you add the citric acid and calcium chloride mixture to the milk. And this is going to make it start to curdle. Now, as soon as it's mixed thoroughly, we have to heat it up to 88 degrees. And while it's heating to 88 degrees, you'll see it start to curdle. I mean, sometimes you can see it almost immediately start to curdle. Okay, so that's mixed pretty well now. And you can see already the chunks of curds coming out of the way just from stirring it that quickly. So now we gotta turn it up to 88 degrees and the milk will start to curdle. Okay, so now that it's at 88 degrees, we add the vegetable rennet. Okay, now that it's been 20 minutes, it's time to get this stuff out of here and make our cheese. First of all, you don't have to have this set up over here. We have basically a cheesecloth and another strainer and a bowl with another bowl here. This is the one we're going to microwave with. Because this stuff's cold, you're going to have to heat it up, that way it can congeal together. Most people use a microwave to do this. There are a lot of people who comment on these YouTube videos about how it's sacrilege to use a microwave. You know what? We have microwaves, we're going to use the damn microwave. Alright, so you can see this, it's actually nice and thick. I do think that this is probably a little more pasteurized than some of the milks, and it's on the border of possibly using a different brand of milk. Usually when you see these, they're pretty much glossy all the way across the top, without too many pores and pits and all that. Usually slice it up, just make it a little easier to get out. And like I said earlier, every bit of this is edible still. The part that I'm cutting up are called the curds, and the liquidy stuff is called the whey. So when they say curds and whey, this is what you're talking about. With a slotted spoon, start digging out these chunks here. We're trying to let as much of this drain out naturally as possible, just to make it that much easier to get all the water out. Because that's the main thing we're going to do now, is get all the water out, or the whey out of it. Get out of the way.
No way.
Yes way. The next thing we're going to do once we get all this stuff out of here is microwave it, which helps release some more of the water, or whey, fluid, liquid, watery substance from the mozzarella. Then we're going to knead the hell out of it. So the more liquid that you get out of the mozzarella, the more firm the mozzarella becomes. You can pretty much just salt it and eat it like this if you wanted. If you're storing this stuff, you can actually store it in the whey, and that helps a lot. If you don't, you put it in a bag and it'll start drying out, and then it gets kind of stringier, like most of the store-bought bagged mozzarella, the stuff that most recipes will tell you to use. That's what happens when you put it in a bag. It dries out and becomes like that. So that's why we don't use that. We use the real thing anytime we can. And just in case you're wondering, it really doesn't smell like much anything right now. It doesn't smell like milk, doesn't smell like cheese, doesn't smell good or bad, it just doesn't smell like anything. Through the magic of video, we have gotten all of the curds out of the way. Now we get to heat this up. There's not really a precise measurement of time that you're supposed to heat this stuff. Basically just make it to where it's pliable. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to start at 30 seconds. See where it goes from there. We don't want it to be too hot because we're going to start kneading it with our fingers. We don't want it to burn the hell out of ourselves. But we don't want it to be too cool either because then it won't congeal. So this is the part, or the point point in time where you start thinking about the ingredients that you want to add to the mozzarella. Usually you start off with cheese salt. You can put all kinds of things in it though. Okay, so after another 30 seconds, there's a lot more liquid here. We don't want to pour out our cheese, so I'm just going to start dumping it. I want to save as much as I can. So basically the idea now is to press out as much liquid as we can. Now is also a good time to add your other ingredients. There's no exact science to it, especially with the salt. You just kind of salt it to taste. And everybody's taste is different. And we stir all that salt in. It's one thing about the salt is you really do want to mix it in as well as possible. That's something they don't tell you. If you don't, you'll end up with hot spots. You don't want to have a really salty bite. We're not getting any more water out of it, so it's time to heat it up again. Alright, so see how when we warmed it up, more of the fluid came up to the top? That's what we're looking for.
I would think. It's ready to knead.
Now it's ready to knead.
Totally need this.
Alright. So now we start kneading it into something that looks like a pizza dough. We've already put our salt in there. We decided not to use any other spices ourselves. Once it looks smooth, that's good. Now, the more you do this, the tougher it's going to get when it cools. You don't want to overdo it. You know, underdoing it, there's no problem with underdoing it, but overdoing it kind of sucks. It makes it hard as a rock when it cools. So really, you can use this just like this, as is, ready to go, throw it on a pizza, cook it up, and eat it. Now,
Yeah.
pretty good. I think it needs more salt though.
Lord, no.
So that's it. And since we're not using this today, or tonight, for dinner, I'm going to throw it in here and add some whey. And remember, you can freeze this whey and use it for all kinds of different things. Apparently it does everything from cure impotency to give people or allow people to win the Nobel Peace Prize and everything else. It's God's gift to everything. And the only thing better is the number 42. And as long as you remember that, then be happy. So if you like this video and you want us to do more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel, click the like button, share, do all the stuff that you're supposed to do to help out the YouTube community, and we'll definitely do more. Hey guys, welcome. Hey guys. Right on my face. Okay. This is 1/2. Is that 1/2? What did I use here? I thought I used. I'll just remeasure that, so I don't trust myself on it again.
Do you want to pause?
Yeah, pause. I'm gonna start at 30 seconds, not 3 minutes.
Start button.
No, start button.
Clear. Start button.
Usually you start off with cheese. I mean, not cheese. Yeah, you put cheese in most of them. Salt.